Vasudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 1. Arjuna Uvacha Sanyasam Karmanam Krishna Punaryoham Shashamsasi Yakshreya Etayorekam Tanme Bruhi Sunishitam.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which one of the two is more beneficial?"
Text 2. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Sanyasa Karma Yogasya Nikshreyasakarabhubhav Tayostu Karma Sanyasat Karma Yoga Vishishyate.
The personality of Godhead replied, "The renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work."
Text 3. Neyaksan Nitya Sanyasi Yonat na Kankshati Nirvantvo hi Mahabaho Sukham Bantat Pramakmukshate.
One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. O mighty armed Arjuna.
Text 4. Sankhya Yoha Pradak Balaha Pravadanti na pantitaha ekam apyastitak samyak ubayor vintate phalam.
Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both.
Text 5. Yat sankhya prapyate sthanam tat yohairapi gamyate ekam sankyam cha yoham cha yak pashyati sa pashyati.
One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are.
Text 6. Sanyasastu mahabaho dugam aptumayohataha yoga yukto munir brahma nashi venadi gachati.
Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy, but a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay.
Text 7. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma yitendriyaha Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvannapi na lipyate.
One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled.
Text 8 to 9. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यान् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रान् नश्नान् गच्छन् स्वपन् स्वसन् प्रफलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियानिन्द्रियातेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन्.
A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them.
Text 10. Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sapapena padmapatramivambasa.
One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water.
Text 11. Kayena manasha buddhya kevalairindrayairapi yohina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma suttaye.
The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with the body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification.
Text 12. Yukta karma palam tyaktva santimanopti mapnoti naistikim ayut karma kama karena phale sakto nibhatyate.
The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled.
Text 13. Sarva karmani manasha sanyasyaste sukham vashi navatvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan.
When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done.
Text 14. Nakarritvam nakarmani lokasya srijati prabhu nakarma phala samyogam swabhavastu pravartate.
The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature.
Text 15. Nadatte kasyachit papam nashaiva sukrutam vibhuh ajnanena vridam nanam tena mukyanti yantavaha.
Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge.
Text 16. Jnanena tudata jnanam yesam nashitam atmanah tesam aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam.
When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything, as the sun lights up everything in the daytime.
Text 17. Tad buddhyastada manas tanishtastaparayanaha gachyantya punaravriddhim nana nirduta kalmasaha.
When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight onto the path of liberation.
Text 18. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shuni shaiva swapa pakecha panditak samadashinaha.
The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater, outcast.
Text 19. Ihaiva tairitak sargo ye samyastitam manaha nidosam hi samam brahma tasmat brahmani te stitaha.
Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless, like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman.
Text 20. Na prahrishye priyam prapya no tvije prapya shapriyam strira buddhi rasam mudo brahmavid brahmani stitaha.
A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God is already situated in transcendence.
Text 21. Bhagyasvasheva saktatma Vindatyatmani yat sukham sabrahmayoga yuktatma sukham sukhamaksham shamasnute.
Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme.
Text 22. Yehi samspasha ya bhoga duggayoknaya evate adyanta vanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha.
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
Text 23. Shaknoteva yak sohim praksharira vimokshanat kama krodha bhavam vegam sayuktaksa sukhi naraha.
Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world.
Text 24. Yonta shukontaramas tadanta jyotirevayah sayohi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuto digacchati.
One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately he attains the Supreme.
Text 25. Labante brahma nirvanam ऋषयक्षीण काल्मषाः छिन्नद्वैधायतात्मानः सर्वभूता हि ते रताः.
Those who are beyond dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme.
Text 26. Kama krodha vimuktanam yatinam yathashetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam.
Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future.
Text 27 to 28. Spashan kritva bahirbahyam chakshushaivantare bhuvohar pranapanau samau kritva nasabhyantara yatendriyamano bhaktir munir moksha parayanaha vigate tekchabaya krodho Yaksada mukta eva saha.
Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated.
Text 29. Bhoktaram yagnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam natva mam santi muchyate.
A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Karma Yoga, or action in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Vatsala Mataji and Chetna Mataji. Beautiful recitation, Vatsala Mataji. It was very melodious and the meter was very beautiful. Yes, it was very, very pleasing. And Chetna Mataji, thank you so much for your sweet English recitation. So thank you both.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. So, share the slides. Please tell me if you can see the slides.
Yes,
Okay.
Mataji, we can see it.
Yes.
Okay.
See now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, yes, we are discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter a day, and we are still on chapter 5, Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. And today's verse is verse number 18. And before we start, we will recite the Mangalacharan prayers together, and we seek the blessings of Acharyas and Guru Parampara and invoke auspiciousness. So I request you all to chant along with me the Mangalacharan prayers behind muted mic. Om Agnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिनीति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna, I seek your blessings and your permission so we can discuss the shloka today, and I'll recite today's shloka, and that is number 18. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapake Cha Panditah Samadarshinaha. Synonyms: Vidya, with education; Vinay, and gentleness; Sampanne, fully equipped; Brahmane, in the Brahmana; Gavi, in the cow; Hastini, in the elephant; Shuni, in the dog; Cha, and Eva, certainly; Shvapake, in the dog eater, the outcast; Cha, respectively; Pandita, those who are wise; Samadarshinaha, who see with equal vision. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. And the purport, anyone would like to read the purport?
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, sure, Venkat Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. A Krishna conscious person doesn't make any distinction between species or castes. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from the point of view of species. But these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme. For the Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion as Paramatma, he is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. As far as the bodies are concerned, in different cats or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone because he treats every living being as a friend, yet maintains himself as a Paramatma regardless of the circumstances of the living entities. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in the outcast and in the Brahmana, although the body of a Brahmana and that of an outcast are not the same. The bodies are material productions of different modes of material nature, but the soul and the super soul within the body are of the same spiritual quality. The similarity in the qualities of the soul and the super soul, however, doesn't make them equal in quantity. For the individual soul is present only in the particular body, whereas the Paramatma is present in each and every body. A Krishna conscious person has full knowledge of this, and therefore he is truly learned and has equal vision. The similar characteristics of the soul and super soul are that they are both conscious, eternal, and blissful. But the difference is that individual soul is conscious within the limited jurisdiction of the body, whereas the super soul is conscious of all bodies. The super soul is present in all bodies without distinction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So, In this verse now, to first see the context of the verse. So this is the last section of chapter 5 and verses 17 to 29. It talks about liberation by focusing on the Supreme. So the context is the yesterday's verse. The translation was, when one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. So what is liberation? Liberation means to come out of the material entanglement. And the verse 18, Krishna explains when one focuses on the Supreme, what would be the vision of such a person and vision of people and vision of objects in this world. So this is a vision of a wise person, a pandita, a self-realized soul. So Krishna is explaining that how a Nishkam Karma Yogi attains liberation in this section. So Gnani can also have this vision, and someone who is endowed with true knowledge, that is Vidya. Vinaya Sampanne means he has humility. So humble sage by virtue of true knowledge and humility. Then what does the verse say? Brahmane means the Brahmana. Gavi, a cow. Hastini, an elephant. Shuni Chaiva, a dog also, and Swapakecha, a dog eater. So 5 categories are mentioned. If you are a learned person, then you will see them all on an equal plane. So Pandita Sama Darshina, that's what the verse is about. So this is one of the spiritual attributes of a devotee, of an advanced devotee, pure devotee, a wise person, a self-realized soul. He sees everyone with an equal vision, but he possesses many other qualities as well. And in this verse, one of the qualities is mentioned, which is that he has an equal vision. So let's see a few of the points, some thoughts on this verse based on the teachings of the Acharya. I've been listening to Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhuji and Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji. So based on that, I have prepared the slides. So we will discuss. So 5.18 is an equal vision, spiritual vision of a self-realized person. So Brahmanas and cows, as you can see in this picture, here is the Brahmana. Here, this is a wise person. So this is the vision of this person who is self-realized, pure devotee. He is seeing this Brahmana and this cow, and he is seeing this dog, dog eater, and Hastini, elephant, all 5 with an equal vision. Now we can see here that they are all in the different modes. The Brahmana and cow are considered to be in the mode of goodness. Elephant is in the mode of passion, and dog eater, they are in the mode of ignorance. But those who are beyond the modes, so even beyond the mode of goodness, they do not see such external differences. What do they see? They see them equally as spirit souls. Here in the picture, we can see that in their heart, we can see the picture of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, right? So what is this wise person saying, Pandita? He is saying that all of them are equal as spirit soul, and then the Lord as Paramatma is present in all of them. And so the first point, what is the basis of this equal vision? How does this Pandita have this equal vision? So he is seeing that everyone is spirit soul, he is child of God. So a wise person acknowledges the spiritual equality of all living beings beyond their material differences. And we know in Bhagavad Gita 15.7, Krishna says, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. The living entities in this conditioned world are my fragmental, eternal parts. There is soul in dog, there is soul in dog eater, a cow, elephant, and Brahmana. All are souls, but they are entrapped in different bodies. The animal in this life could become a human being in next life, and vice versa. The human being could become animal in the next life. So external physical forms are different, but soul is spiritual in nature. And Supreme Lord Krishna is spiritual. So all his children are also spiritual. So this is the vision of a wise person, a Pandita. Because he sees on a spiritual plane, he sees them equally. So this is one of the point. So first point is that everyone is spirit, soul and child of God. That is why the Pandita has equal vision. And the second point is the basis of his equal vision is Paramatma is present in everyone's heart. Just as Lord does not discriminate, devotees also does not discriminate. So we know that Paramatma or Super Soul, it does not discriminate that I will stay in the heart of only human being and I'll not stay in the heart of animals. Supreme Lord is equal to all his children. Similarly, one who loves God, who is very close to God, sees everyone in connection with God. So the soul relation is based on Krishna in the center. We need to focus on that. So without Krishna, nobody can exist, right? That is the spiritual understanding of a Pandita. And in Bhagavad Gita 13.23, the verse is Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatmeti Chapya Ukto Dehismin Purusha Para. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor who exists as the overseer and permitter and who is known as the super soul. So as we can see in this picture, even in this leopard there is Lord, even in this man there is a Lord, here there is a devotee, there is Lord, woman, everybody. So Paramatma exists in everybody's heart, and that is also the basis of Pandita's equal vision, that if Lord does not discriminate and he exists in every living entity, then how can we discriminate if we are close to God? So that was the second point of Pandita's equal vision. Now, on a spiritual plane, there is equanimity. We just saw these two things, 15.7, 13.23 talks about soul exists in everybody and Lord exists in everyone's heart. So there is spiritual equanimity. But on a material plane also, there is equanimity. What is our body made of? Our body is made of matter. So is animals. Their body is also made of matter. An exalted devotee considers everybody's body as temple of the Lord. He does not respect anyone. See, whether bodies, as in this picture, we can see what? There is a dog, there are lots of sheep, and there is a man. So whether body is of a sheep, a dog, or human being, body is made of matter. What is that? 5 elements. Anyone? What are the 5 material elements?
Hare Krishna Mataji, my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, Rupa.
Can I try, please?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah. Water, fire, earth, ether, and air.
Excellent. Yes. So 5 material elements. Yes, Rupa Mataji. So ultimately, Krishna sees everyone equally. And a Pandita, a pure devotee, knows that Jiva's constitutional position and what is his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Thus, he is sympathetic towards everyone and he respects everyone. Say, when we install a deity, there might be just a building first. But when the deity is installed, then what happens? That building becomes a temple. Like that in our heart, there is Paramatma, right? The proof is 13.23 verse where Krishna says that I exist in everyone's heart. So this body also becomes a temple. And that is the vision of this exalted devotee in this verse, Pandita Samadarshinaha. He is seeing everybody, their body as temple of the Lord, and thus he gives respect to everyone. So moving on, oops, okay, there. In traditional Vedic culture, one moment, I'll just need to delete that. In traditional Vedic culture, Raja, he protects Praja. So Raja is king, Praja is his people. So Praja includes both animals and human beings, and thus there is no discrimination between species and caste. If animals are tormented by people, then king immediately takes action to punish those people. Can anyone recognize this king in the picture?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Yes, Palika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Namaskar.
Krishna. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you. Parikshit Maharaj. Yes. So here we can see that in this pastime that Parikshit Maharaj is grandson of Yudhishthir Maharaj, and he saw a man who was Kali personified. He was trying to beat cow and bull. So bull was Dharma and cow was Mother Earth. They both appeared in the form of cow and bull. So as soon as he saw this man, Kali, he was tormenting cow and bull. Parikshit Maharaj immediately picked up his sword to kill him because king or the ruler is meant to protect animals also, his praja. Thus, a noble or wise person does not have discrimination between species and caste. Everybody is a child of God. So, in that sense, we can see that how Bhagavad Gita helps us in bringing unification between the human beings and non-human beings through spiritual vision. And so many times people they talk about respecting others and others' rights, but they violate it with every bite of meat that they eat. So the basic right of a living being, whether a human being or animal, is to live. To live is the basic right of everyone. So also there is one more story in Mahabharata of King Maharaj Shibi and the story of pigeon and vulture, but there is more to discuss, so we'll move on. There also Maharaj Shibi protects the pigeon at the cost of giving up his own life from this vulture, and the vulture and the pigeon happened to be demigods who had turned up to take the test of this king. So when the virtues, such virtues are there in wise people, and we know that there are so many kings in Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear they are such virtuous kings. They are wise person, they are Pandita who are Samadarshis, Prithu Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj. So many more kings. So this is how a wise person sees everyone equally. So now there is one more perspective to this verse. We need to understand one thing, that okay, there is equality, but it does not mean that we forget there are few things like hierarchy, people's differences at their behaviors, emotions, and ethical levels, like their ethics and their virtues may differ. So I will give few examples here. Say, can we treat a teacher, can a teacher be equal to student in all respects? Right, first example. Then can a parent be equal to children in all respect? No. So they are all souls, they are equal in one sense, but um, what's happened here is that we have to acknowledge the differences on a material plane also, like external differences. Say, for example, there is a boss in the company and his employee is a clerk. Are they on the same level? No, because the boss has higher responsibility, he has more ability to manage things, and the clerk has limited experience and less responsibilities. Then the teacher has more knowledge than the student, and parent has also so many responsibilities. And the children don't have that many responsibilities. The parent has the more knowledge, and they can discipline the child cannot, so vice versa. Like that, there is also one more thing, equality is there on the spiritual level, but say we can embrace a cow, but can we embrace a tiger? No, because that might be our last embrace if we go and embrace a tiger. So these material differences must be acknowledged, but at the same times we must not forget the spiritual equality also, we must respect. And then there is another example can be given is Duryodhan and Yudhishthir. Are they both same? Kauravas and Pandavas, are they same? Were they given equal treatment by Krishna? So no. So equality does not mean that we forget people's differences of behavior, their ethics, emotions, and hierarchy. So, yet there is material hierarchy. It should not make one forget spiritual equality, right? So, equal vision is not equal treatment or reciprocation, but appropriate treatment according to candidate whom we are dealing with. So, equality does not mean everybody is same. Say one more example. Suppose a sannyasi, a highly elevated, exalted, pure devotee sannyasi walks in and he's holding a danda and he walks in. So one person will go and pay prostrated obeisances and pay danvats and respects. But at the same time, through that door, every visitor that is coming and this person does the same thing, he is giving prostrated obeisances each time, then this visitor will feel very embarrassed and awkward, right? He will feel, oh my God, why are you're paying this complete Sashtang Dandat Pranam to me? So equal vision is not equal treatment or reciprocation, but appropriate treatment. So another example we can give is, say a father has two children. One is younger and one is older. One is in 3rd standard and other one is in 7th standard. Will the father buy the same books? He says, oh, everyone is equal to me, so I'll buy the same book. So if he gets the books for 3rd standard, it will not be appropriate for the 7th standard child. And a mother, if the mother says, oh, all my children are equal, and all of you have to eat the equal number of chapatis I gave, and say if she has 3 children, one is 3, one is 10, and one is 18, a 3-year-old cannot eat 4 chapatis. So these differences have to be acknowledged, and accordingly one has to deal with it. So Supreme Lord is equal. He is in everyone's heart and he reciprocates accordingly. See, equality should not lead to loss of discrimination. So you have to recognize spiritual equality and acknowledge material differences. So should Arjuna see virtuous and glorious Yudhishthir and vicious Duryodhana equally? No, he should not. Because see, we know that Duryodhana, he had a lot of greed and he had a lot of grudge and he had a lot of anger and envy towards Pandavas, and he wanted to fight the war because he wanted power and he wanted control. So also see, there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita 9.29. What does Krishna say? Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But what does he say? That Krishna is equal to all, but he is reciprocal at the same time. He loves everyone. See, even if Krishna punishes the miscreants, there is love, and that is out of compassion, because that is the only way to reform them and claim them back to Godhead. By reformation, one will improve, one will see the mistake. We have to disapprove the mistake anyone does, otherwise they can go on doing that. Otherwise there is no difference between attacker and attacked. If we see everyone equally, the attacker has to be punished and the attacked person has to be protected. So in the same way here, spiritual equality, it does not imply absolute equality. So when we see everyone spiritually equal, we don't label people. That's what it means, that we don't label them based on external such as nationality, ethnicity, race, or religion. But people have differences at behavioral, emotional, and ethical level. So both the attacker and attacked are not treated equally. We have to punish the attacker and protect the attacked. So failing to recognize this will disrupt dharma. And Arjuna, he needs to stop Duryodhan and he has to assist Yudhishthir. So if we understand this verse properly in this world, then it will bring a lot of issues can decrease a lot substantially, and practically also we see that that so many devotees from different parts of the world and different backgrounds, they come together and they chant and sing in the kirtan. And Srila Prabhupada said that this is the real United Nations, where everyone is equal on the soul level, spiritual level. They come together, they perform the Sankirtan Yajna and keeping Krishna in the center. So this is what it is here. Just some of the thoughts on this verse. And everyone is seen on equal spiritual plane, but it does not mean that no action is taken. Also say when it's not that no action should be taken. We know how Dushashan, he did offense to Draupadi, and Duryodhan was so offensive to Pandavas and Yudhishthir. So Arjuna, he cannot avoid his responsibility and duty to fight, because he has to acknowledge material differences here. And he gives the treatment accordingly, according to the candidate he is dealing with. So spiritual equality does not imply absolute equality. So we have to recognize spiritual equality and acknowledge material differences. Thus, dharma is not disrupted. So many times we have this question in our mind that, oh, if we see everyone equally, and then if somebody is not nice to us and say how the Pandavas were treated so badly by Kauravas, then what do? Do we tolerate? No. So there the material differences has to be acknowledged, and Krishna says that I am authorizing you, Arjuna. Under my authorization, you kill and then you fight. After fighting, you will miss your relatives, as you say that they are your relatives and you will miss them. Then that part, the pain you have to tolerate, but first you have to do the rightful thing. So just going back to this verse, it is 8:31. I can stop for discussion, but just trying to bring few points here that the spiritual equality, spiritual vision is different to how the reciprocation is done on the material level, where the way people are treated is also according to how it is reciprocal, like how Krishna is reciprocal. Otherwise, people who are committing crime, there will be no need for law. Otherwise, if everybody is treated equally, the reformation has to be done. Krishna does give punishment, but there is no grudge there. There is no grudge. Krishna loves everyone. That's why. And he makes Arjuna and Pandavas the medium through which this happens, because he wants to give credit to his devotees. His devotees are very dear to him. So even in one verse in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Arjuna, you declare this boldly, that my devotee never perishes. You declare it, because Krishna has so much faith in his devotee that, remember, Krishna made a promise that he will not lift a weapon in the war, but he did. So people could say that, oh, he did not, keep to his promise, but that was also because of a love for his devotee Arjuna. So he says, you declare it boldly, because you are very dear to me, and whatever you say, that will have a lot of weightage, because you are very, very dear devotee of mine. So I'll end here. It's 8:33, and I open for discussion and any correction, questions, or comments. And if you want to add anything to the verse, please go ahead. I'll check the chat if there is any question there. Okay. No, there is no question on the chat. Okay, fine. So then we have no questions. And
May I just say something?
yes, Chaitanya, please go ahead.
Well, I'm only talking about me, nobody else. And
Yeah.
it's kind of, I'd say maybe a realization from this, that sometimes as human beings, again, I'm only speaking about myself here, that us as have the ability.
1 minute, let me mute. Okay, go ahead, Chitna Mataji.
have the ability to dislike another human being who I don't even know that well, who I have no association with. I can dislike them on the basis of maybe what they've said, in a group, or I don't know how they dress or how they walk or different from me. That is the reality which we live in.
Okay, so your question or your comment is it a question or a comment?
It's like a realization that this is the place maybe I am in right now, that I can actually dislike somebody I don't know that well.
Yes. Okay, so Chetna Mataji, okay, you have a realization that you meet someone. Is that a new person that you have this feeling for, or you know them little bit?
No, it's just a very general. Sometimes you meet people in a group of, well, not now because we don't go out as much, but as a group of friends, or professionally in the past, or and you just, it's actually maybe not dislike, you form an opinion about somebody without really knowing them. I think that those are the right words.
Yes. I totally understand what you're saying now, that you have met somebody and you don't know them really very well, but you just by seeing them or by their actions or just having met them in a group, you have this opinion that you may not like them, and they might not be of your type, or so. That is the realization. Yes, but there we can definitely apply this verse, Chetna Mataji. I mean, speaking about myself as well. Yes, I totally I familiarize with what you're saying, but at the same time here, the other person has not done any action here, or they have you've not had any bad experiences with them. So here this verse we should try, speaking of me, to apply definitely, that everybody is a child of God, and there is Paramatma in their heart and in our heart, and Krishna does not discriminate. So it is in our benefit actually to try and give them this benefit, and to start on a clear plate, on a clear slate, that you have positive feelings for them, and then positivity brings positivity. That's what I would say, because there is every potential that you could make a good friend out of this person, or share Krishna consciousness with them. Does it make, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think normally you'd never even think about such things, that, oh my God, maybe, I shouldn't, or we shouldn't be this way. But this verse just makes so much sense that,
Yeah.
it probably isn't a very nice, it just happens naturally, but it's not, it's probably not only me. Well, I hope it's not only me in the past, but,
No, it is not only you.
but
Me
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Chetnataji. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. That is, we have to start with a very positivity, that there is seeing everyone on a spiritual plane. That is the very good start we can make. And say if the role is reversed, if we are in their place and they are in our place, then we would want the same treatment by them, isn't it? We would want them to see us as child of God. There is Paramatma in my heart and that person's heart. So I think that would be really, really useful for a very healthy and happy community to start on that level. Thank you, Chetna Mataji. Yes, Rupa Mataji, you have a question?
Oh, yes. Hare Krishna. I just wanted to ask, it's kind of, I understand a little bit, but I just wanted to ask that, like materially, we are made of, earth, water, fire, 5 elements. And spiritually also, we are Krishna's part and parcel. We are all servants of Krishna. So that is kind of equal vision. But then there is individuality, which is talked about. So individuality, obviously, in material terms, we are all different, because obviously our psychophysical nature is different. But then again, spiritually also, we are individuals. And I just wanted to ask that we are part and parcel of Krishna. So are the souls all the same? Are the souls all the same, or the souls are kind of have different individuality? What does that mean?
Yes.
I don't want to
Okay,
ask.
Rupa Mataji. Yes, Hare Krishna. Nice.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, nice comment. So yes, your question is, okay, you've understood what the verse, what different acharyas are saying, that our material body is made of all the same elements, and our soul is also same within the heart. But the individuality of the soul is at different levels, Rupa Mataji, in terms of spirituality and advancement. So sometimes we come across children who are very young, but they are reciting beautiful Sanskrit verses and very fluently. And somebody has not even taught them really, but they start off like that because of, see, the karma cycle. Karma is very complex. No one knows where sometimes someone sitting next to us could be so advanced, and we would not know because of their previous birth what level they were. And in Bhagavad Gita it clearly says that wherever there is no loss, is it verse 2.40 maybe, I'm not sure, but that whatever level you stop, you start in the next life at that level. So that's why there is no loss in bhakti. So individually, the soul is not at the same level, I would say, Rupa Mataji, because somebody might have just started their bhakti, and someone might be very young and they had something from previous life where there is more to finish off and then move on back to Godhead. So even at young age they start, and even in our Sankirtan here, we can see so many children. They are so good at preaching at young age and distributing books. So yes, there is a difference there. I would say that there are advanced souls, and some souls are just starting. So, but this Pandita here in this picture, he still sees everyone equally, because he clearly sees the dog eater is outcast. See, his consciousness is very degraded. And Brahmana's consciousness is very high up. He's in the mode of goodness or even beyond, because he has so many qualities, the humility, cleanliness, and forgiveness, and many other qualities, tolerance. So their soul level is different. Some are advanced, some are not. But still, a Pandita is seeing them equally. He gives equal respect to all. So does it make sense?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. But so, the soul's advancement depends on how much anarthas are removed. So if all our anarthas are removed for every soul, will they be all in equal kind of platform, or is it still there is individuality of the soul?
Can you be more clear in your question? You mean that some
Yeah,
people,
no,
the anartha is totally gone and some
yeah,
not?
no, just like you're saying, Mataji, that some souls are more advanced, like children, if they are reciting the verses and doing
Yeah.
sankirtan, and so some obviously from their previous birth they are quite advanced. So in this birth, from childhood, they are so advanced. So if I'm saying, for example, hypothetically, if two souls, one has anartha and another has less anartha, but if all the anarthas of both the souls are removed, will the souls be on equal platform, or there will be still individuality of the souls?
Oh, that is complicated. Yes, I would say yes. They would be on equal level, right? I mean, see, there are rungs on the levels of how one connects with the Lord. So that is, again, I would say, is a little bit complex. There is Dhyani, there is Gyani, there is Bhakti Yogi, but if say both the devotees you are talking about don't have any anarthas in them, they are very advanced, and if they are connected to Lord through bhakti, then that is the topmost, really, because bhakti has all other things that other yogas have. Because if you love God, you will serve God. So karma yoga is there. In bhakti, if you love God, then you want to know more about God. So the knowledge, gnana yoga is there, and you love God in bhakti, then when you get the gnana knowledge, you will think more about Krishna while doing your work. You are meditating on the Lord, what you have heard, the shravanam, the chanting you do. So dhyana is also there. So if they are both, they are on equal plane. If they are both bhakti yogis, yes, they are on equal plane. But then again, it all depends on the mercy of Krishna. Krishna decides who is everything stops at the mercy of Krishna. It's totally at the discretion of the Lord, who is at what level, because as Paramatma, he knows what's in the heart of everyone. And yes, if their heart is clean, there are no anarthas, then definitely in that heart, Krishna will sit in that heart, because the entire seat is for Krishna, anarthas are gone. So yes, they would be at equal level, I guess.
Thank you, Mataji. No, I was just wondering about the individuality of the soul, sometimes, because I remember once, maybe I didn't hear her properly. Madhukumari Mataji was giving a class and she said, we as souls are also not equal. We are not equal in the sense, we are not the same. We have our individuality. So I was wanting,
Yes,
that kind of
yes,
thing.
Mataji is right. Absolutely. Okay, now I understand. Yes,
Yeah.
true. Soul's individuality remains, Rupa Mataji. That is eternal fact. Because the Mayavadis believe that they merge, but what is the reality is that soul's individuality remains. We remain at individual level only. We never merge, and there is also difference. There is a difference of quantity between us and super soul. So yes, as soul, we are minute part and parcel, like the ray of the sun, and Krishna is the entire sun. So Krishna is omnipotent, all powerful, omnipresent. He is present at a time everywhere, within the universe and outside the universe. And he is omniscient. He knows everything about every living entity, everything in the world, because he's in the heart. So we can never be equal to Lord in quantity, and at the same time, we all remain individual. Even though somebody is, say, exactly same level, the soul's individuality never merges with any other soul. It remains individual. It carries on with the subtle body in the next life, with whatever the consciousness is there in the next life. And like that, each consciousness is different. And if two people's consciousness is equally same, they still don't merge. The individuality remains.
Thank you, Mataji. So when I'm just asking hypothetical questions, but when in the spiritual world, all the souls, serving Krishna, like the Gopas, the Gopis, so they are also like individual. They are like not. They are part and parcel of Krishna, but they are also individual, isn't it? That the
Yes.
individuality is still there.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
Rupa. Yes, they are absolutely, they are all individual. And what I've heard is, okay, diverting a bit, but yes, everybody is individual. Some of them, when in Dwarka, Krishna's pastimes was going on, all the residents of Dwarka, some of them came from the spiritual world, and some were still from these 14 planetary systems are there, from the higher planets. So some half and half like that, or I don't know the ratio. But when Krishna's Leela finished in Dwarka, those individual souls who came from the spiritual world went back to spiritual world, and those who came from higher planets of material world went back to the higher planets of material world. So that's what happened. So this clearly, that pastime also shades light on our question, that wherever they came from, they went back to that planet, and the individuality remained. Even though they are in spiritual world, the individuality remains same.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your questions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so any more, is there any other question? Oh, sorry, forgive ourselves, spiritualness. Okay, there is a question. Plants and trees don't have a heart, so where is the Paramatma located in them? Okay, Jai Prabhu has a question. So, right, the consciousness level is different for plants and trees, but definitely Krishna is in, even in water, even in stone. The stone's quality is hard. Stone is very hard. That quality that comes from, it's the energy of Krishna. The taste in water comes because Krishna is present in it. In every minute particle, every atom, there is Krishna, in plants and trees also, but there is a difference of consciousness. At human level, the consciousness is higher, whereas in plants and trees, they cannot move on their own. The consciousness is different, but Paramatma is in everything, even the sugar. The sweetness in sugar, the quality that it is sweet is there because Krishna is present. So there is another question from Surabhi Mataji. I wanted to ask the same. Can we form biased opinion about someone we don't know just based on external opinions expressed? If we have regret for our actions, how do we forgive ourselves first? Forgive ourselves spiritually, I meant. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So biased opinion, there are two things. Can we form biased opinion about someone we don't know just based on? I would say the answer to first question is no. Ideally, no. We should not, because first of all, I'm talking about myself. What is it that's in me that is triggering these emotions I have about the other person? Many times it says, whether we like it or not, that the faults we see in others, they are the reflection of our own consciousness. Yes, I'm not saying that there may not be any fault in the other person, but it starts with us also, our vision. So as it says here, yes, this is a very high level consciousness of Pandita, that he sees everyone equally, but we can make a good start by trying to practice this, talking about me. So we would not like somebody else to form such opinion about us without having nothing has happened. Then same way, I think we have to also treat that other person. So, and the second question is, regret actions, how do we forgive spiritually? Okay, if we regret our actions, then obviously first thing we have to do is we have to it's nice that we have identified that we have made a mistake, first step. Then we regret, then we remember the mistake so that we don't make it again. And then we have to we make a good start by asking forgiveness. And then we move on with a clear consciousness and remembering what happened, and then not repeating it, and seeking Krishna's mercy by prayer. Because without his mercy, we cannot move on or make improvement. So, Subhi Mataji, I tend to get angry past 5-6 years too much. I think I got the answer. I see anger in others, I think every day. Seeing anger in all will change it now. Oh, Subhi Mataji, okay. So it's 8:52. I'll just take the last question on the chat. Drishti Mataji saying, Hare Krishna Mataji, what is the next level beyond human life? Oh, next level beyond human life. Good question. Then next level will be if we come out of this human body, Drishti Mataji, if we see the what is the verse saying here? Let's go back to the verse that it talks about liberation. That is, if you come out of human body, then you are liberated. You have come out of the material entanglement that happens by the modes and this material body. Our soul is entrapped in this body. And because we are in this material world, there are all these layers of guna, goodness, passion, ignorance, that is always working on us. Then we will come out of this. Then that means we'll go back to Godhead, back to Krishna. Then we are liberated. That is the best position, to be back to Godhead, back with Krishna. Yeah. So if we come out of this human body, and then it depends on the aspiration of the bhakti yogi. If he wants to go back to Lord, he'll go back. But sometimes some dhyana yogis or mystic yogis, their aspiration is to have siddhis and many other things. So then it depends on our aspiration and our efforts. So there are three things. We have to have a desire, we have to endeavor, and we have to pray. Three things. So we have to have a desire, and discrimination is important, that we have good desire. Then we endeavor for it with determination, and we pray for Lord's mercy. With these three things, and with the devotees' help and association, definitely then we can go back to Godhead. If individuality is so unique and accepted, why is it difficult for people to accept external differences as well? Just a general question. Yes, that is the whole thing, isn't it? It's difficult for people to accept external differences because that's where Bhagavad Gita is useful, knowledge. And we've seen that chapter 4, Gnana Yoga, and how we are learning this, so we can share it with others, talking about that. If others can also get this knowledge, then they will also, I'm really trying that not to see differences in external differences in other people. So to end here, dear devotees, I would like to say that Divyanam Prabhuji has requested everyone, you know about Dharma Pack, and the cost is 12 pounds. And if you can please sponsor at least 1 or 2 packs, then we can spread Krishna consciousness. We can distribute these packs to more and more people. And that way, we can fulfill the dream and desire of Srila Prabhupada, that in every home there will be books of Srila Prabhupada. Books will change the world. So I'll end here. Thank you so much, everyone, for bearing with me and for my purification, allowing me to speak. And we'll meet soon again sometime. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindu
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Great.
Mataji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wonderful
Hare
class.
Krishna,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Thank you,
Thanks for the
Mataji.
wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Wonderful class as always.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.